A very warm welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are watching Your Story on Look Up TV. I am Nancy Nelima. Welcome to the program. On this show, we talk about stories of people who are changing lives and transforming lives positively, impacting the society in a positive way. Today, we tell the story of Angela Nzilani, who is a healing and transformation coach. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
And today, we want to talk about the story of your life, how you got to healing and transformation. Yeah, everybody has a story.
Yes.
Today is your opportunity, chance to share with us the story of your life.
Yeah.
So we are here for it.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
But
you.
we first want to know how you came to be a life coach. So a little background. Were you born here? Where you went to school?
I was born in Makueni, a very remote place, and in a very humble home. My parents were teachers and church leaders. I grew up there, went to school. I remember we used to go to school barefoot. But not that, because of course being teachers, my parents would afford school shoes, but I don't know, we would just
That's what was
fitting
happening at
in.
that time at that place.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So it was really humbling, and I would see my parents as teachers and also church leaders be life changers. They would change lives of people, because even up to today, there are people, so many people from my area who still look up to them and still are very grateful for what they did. So somehow I had it in me that I wanted to just be there for people, just to share whatever I have, even if it's a word. I grew up with that, around that, and it really would shine in me. I would really be happy. So after primary, I went to high school in Kitui. Then I didn't do so well to go to university, but my parents believed in education, so they took me to Strathmore for my CPAs. I did accounts, and when I finished, I got a job with some Indian firm that was in the construction sector. And it was really fun working
Okay, just
there.
a moment. When you came from Makueni and Kitui
Yeah.
to Nairobi, how was that transition for you?
Oh, it was really hard. And even, I remember even from the village to high school, it was really hard for me, because I think I grew up as an introvert. I don't know what was in me, or it's the lack of confidence, because my father was also very strict. So we hardly had the voice, to speak up for ourselves and to choose what we really want. It was all dictated, and so going to high school, lack of confidence. Then I went to college, and I still didn't have confidence. I was really shy, but I still loved my small circle of friends. Whenever I have a small circle of friends, I think I would be a bit impactful in their lives. And I did my CPA, got a job, and started working. And now, because where I was working, it was a company making construction products. And the people who are constructing are people with money, and mostly men. So they would come to the office and they would tell me how beautiful I am and, encourage me and tell me how good I am in sales, because I was employed as a salesperson. You know, when you work for an Indian, those days, I don't know, maybe now things have changed. I would do everything. I'm the one in charge of sales. I'm the cashier.
You're doubling up and tripling up on different duties.
Yeah, so many duties. So it really helped me in even developing my entrepreneurial skills, and also my way of connecting with people. I really learned a lot, and I think that is what now helped me to blossom in terms of my confidence. And when I was still there, I started my company. I opened my company, started construction, but I would do finishing. This company, we would sell tiles, but we wouldn't, and they were very unique tiles, concrete tiles. So we would, some of the clients wouldn't get installation because we would have very few fundis who are doing that work. So I started now getting my own fundis from out there and send them to do the work with my company.
Yeah.
And I started, I grew. I started growing slowly by slowly. And while there, I enrolled myself for a degree at the University of Nairobi. So immediately after I got into campus, I had met this guy who, swept me off my feet. And
As they say.
village girl knew how to go for candlelit dinners and sipping exotic wines and watching the sunset. And
It was all
So-
seems like a dream.
so now for me it was like that. This is it. So I really loved going out. I loved having fun, and within a short while, about a year of dating, I got pregnant. So, and that's the time now I had just joined university. So campus life was very hard because I would go in the evenings, and sometimes instead of taking 6 units, I would take just 2. Sometimes I just take a break and go back. So it really took a lot of time for me to even ever finish university.
Yeah.
And after some time, in 2009, I left my job. My baby was about for 3 years. So I left employment and started now fully being self-employed. So I continued with what I was doing now.
So the
going out.
construction
Yeah,
business.
the construction business. So I would now go to the sites, meet contractors, and I grew. I was really growing very fast. I remember I was one of the first ladies to join, lady contractors, to join Kenya Federation of Master Builders, because now it has grown and we have so many. And even it's really.
But you're like
growing.
among the veterans now.
Yeah, the few small, the few beginners.
Yeah.
Mostly women in the women. Mostly women contractors. So I continued with my construction, and my baby is growing, and he's asking for, Mom, am I ever going to see my daddy? Am I ever going to have a daddy? Am I? And also myself, I'm also asking myself, will I ever get married?
And at this time then, your confidence had improved greatly
Yes.
at this time.
Yeah.
So were you feeling pushed towards now talking to people and just trying to help them as well?
I can't say that I was at that time, but still with my small circle of friends, I would say something to someone that would change their lives. Because I remember, I even have a friend who really made a decision that she stuck with even up to today. And because she was about to go get married to a guy who really never cared for her and never loved her. But, those things that it's like we are lured into something. And I just asked her a few questions like, is this really what you want? Do you think that your dream of what you want to become can grow with this kind of a guy? And if he really loves you, why doesn't he want to follow the right channel to marry you? I asked her those questions, and she was already packed to leave. And she told me, let's go back home.
Wow.
We were at
Those
the stage.
words changed everything.
Yeah, it changed everything. And she later got someone, a guy, a very nice guy. She's married to a very good husband, and she's very happy. So, yeah, I can say that I would really, I don't know, I would think deep into people's issues, people's lives. But I didn't have that for myself. I don't know why. I just didn't have that for myself. And I think that's the pity we have for people we have around, because many people don't take themselves first. They don't put themselves first. You don't take yourself you should be your best friend. You should be even criticizing yourself to see what is good for yourself. And I lacked that.
And that's what I say. We're told to love your neighbor as you love yourself, but you gotta know how to love yourself first, so you can love anyone else.
Exactly, yeah. And even people will love you according to the measure you love yourself with. So I think just because I did not love myself enough or well enough or good enough, I did not get the love I deserved, even myself. So that's why even after now dating this guy and getting pregnant, we broke up, and he's never showed up in the child's life. He's not in his life. So yeah, I think it's all about showing people how to love you first. Yeah. And then so later where did I stop? With the business, I'm still now doing well, and I'm doing construction, I'm getting projects. I remember I was really doing good, and now missing a partner, because I was feeling like I have a void. I would go out with people, I would date here and there, but no one serious was coming my way. I don't know why.
It happens.
Yeah. And I think I would also accept to date people who are not serious. I don't know, because I think it's because all because of the lack of self-awareness and putting importance into yourself. So now, because I was feeling this void, I met this guy who was really so much into me, I would say. So much into me that he would, tell me all those nice things I want to hear, the ones I'm missing to hear, and tell me that he would want to marry me. Even day one he told me that. So,
and the deal is too good.
Yes.
Think twice.
Yeah, exactly. But all he had was those things. The nice words and all that. Because when I look back, I realized that even with the dates that we would go out, I would fund. I would be the one paying the bill. And I think sometimes, we say that pesa itakuja. But sometimes it's also good to look at someone's real dream, and do they have a vision?
Yeah.
But this guy I think he was also very good at drawing a false picture about himself. So I fell for it, and within a short time he moved into my house. He was a foreigner, and he was living in a small house with some colleagues, and his business was a football business, the one that they take, like an agent. He takes footballers to other countries and he gets paid.
Okay.
So he had come with footballers from his club, and now they were living in a small house together, all of them together. They were about 5 people. So within 2 months, he moved into my house. And because we were spending time almost every day, we would meet, we talk. So I kind of felt like I already know him. I feel that I know him, And when he moved in, we continued now supporting these other boys. And let me not call them boys, they are men. So
his friends rather.
Yes.
Okay.
So we would support them. Not we, but I, because it was my money. And this money is money that I had saved to buy a house, to just accumulate so that I get enough deposit so that I can get a mortgage.
So on your own, you already had this plan.
Yes.
Of how stability towards stability. So owning a home,
yes,
and just advancing yourself.
Yeah. I had already planned that maybe within a year I will be already living in my own home. And yeah, so I started. Now, what put a stop to that plan is because I was saving with Jamii Bora to buy a house, and some of the houses that I had seen, they said that that phase they're not going to build them anymore. They want to now go to bigger houses, so I have to deposit big amounts, and I think that even confused me more. And I started using this money, and I even withdraw all of it and put it into my account.
Yeah.
And it was just, at a closer reach for me. So I would I would support these boys, these men, when they are in their house for some time, and it reached a point where we saw that it's becoming expensive, so they moved in to my house. Now I'm housing 5 men in the same house. My son is there. I had a nephew who I was working with. I was also doing greenhouse business at that time, installation. So I would fabricate them and install. I had a yard in Lolongo, and I would fabricate them and install them to my clients. Then now after some time we started getting broke, because supporting all these people, and I was also investing in his business. Like, we would get a club somewhere, like in Europe, and he wants to send one of his footballers. It's in Ghana, so the guy was Ghanaian, so I would send tickets for those.
So at this point you are holding the house down yourself,
Yes.
and every other thing, and housing his friends as well.
Yes.
Okay, so let's fast forward
Yeah.
to the time now when this dream of healing and transformation, where does it come in that time frame of things?
This one came in much later. It really came in much later, because this relationship left me with a child, and I was broke. I was broken. The guy went back to his country, and we were even supposed to relocate to his country. And at that time, I had disposed everything I had, given them to friends and relatives, and it's reached a point now where we agreed, because it's becoming difficult for him to have us go there, because he was supposed to send tickets, which he did not. Then now we agreed he's going to come, and so I have to start settling down. So I started going out and getting a few jobs here and there. I was lucky because of my background in the construction. I got a friend who gave me work in his house to do interior design. So I did that, got some work, some money, and moved out. When I just moved out, that was in December, a lady called me from Ghana and told me that this guy has been lying to me. And remember, all this time we're in communication with the guy. And she told me that he's been married for 10 years and she's the wife. It was very devastating.
10 years.
10 years. Then I told her, where have you been? Because you could have saved a woman here, you know, a fellow sister. You should have told me a long time ago. And she told me that he lied, that I was a daughter to his landlord when he was here. And I lied to him and I got myself pregnant. And yeah, so so she knew that we are not in a relationship, but she came to realize that we've been together. And I told her to send me evidence that she was really the wife, and she sent me wedding photos from an album. So it was really hard, and now I started, I was really broken, and I was in pieces. I didn't know where to start, where to begin. I would go out, look for work. I'm not getting work. It's not easy. I don't have a car. I had sold my car to support his living to go to Ghana.
Okay.
So I didn't have a car. It was really hard for me going back to construction. So I even got some little money. I went to Kikomba, bought second-hand shirts to sell to men, and it didn't work for me. A whole month passed by, and I just gave them out. I gave it up. So later on, I started asking God, what is it that I'm here for? This pain is just too much, and I need to get rid of it. I need to do something about it. Because for me, it wasn't about, I wouldn't give up. It wasn't about giving up. I still had a dream of growing, of living a good life, successful life. I had children that I needed to support. And one day when I was just really, I remember I was in town working, going to see a friend, so that I talked to him and see whether he can give me some work. and I was very hungry. I was even eating mabuyu.
From where? Then like Jamie or where?
I was working at around 20th century, going to City Hall because he was working there. So I met a contractor, an architect, who was my client before, in those years when I was flourishing in construction. And I told him, hi, and he said, I told him I'm doing fine. We just greeted, and I told him I'm looking for work. Just give me any work, even if it's sweeping your sites, I will do it. I'm really looking for something to do. Something happened to me, and I'm really down. I want help. I need help. And he told me, before I give you any work, I want to invite you somewhere. And he invited me for an open day for his. Apparently, he had even started doing now life coaching.
Okay.
And he still does. He's still an architect even to date. And he told me, his name is Stephen Muiru. He runs a company called Born to Lead Academy. He told me to come for his open day. And I went, and I was like, this is what I need. I need healing. This is what I really need. Because I would see people giving their testimonies. And at that time, I was praying to God to send me someone to help me with counseling. Because I was broke. I couldn't afford it. So I told him, I really love what you're doing, but I don't know how to, I can't pay you, I can't afford you. And he told me, just come to class. I believe in you, I know there's something in you that can help you help others. And when I went to class, I just loved it all the way, and that was my turning point. I think for me, that was my miracle. So that we graduated in 2017. 2018, January, I registered my own company, and that was now in the beginning of the year. I call it Angelica Achievers. I believe that anyone who purposes to can heal and achieve, become an achiever.
Okay, so that is where the whole dream for healing and transformation, that's where it was born.
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about that after the break. Yes, we
Thank
are
you.
taking a short break here on Your Story on Look Up TV. Don't go too far. Welcome back. You are watching Your Story on Look Up TV, and you can engage with us using the SMS number 20374. We want to hear from you. Tell us your story of how you're changing lives and transforming lives as well. For a chance to share your story with us on set. With me today is Angela Nzilani. Angela is telling us the story of her life, which has been, it was not easy, but we are here now with Angelica. Angelica,
Yes.
the company that you started in 2018. So healing and transformation.
Yes.
Tell us about it. After you experienced a session with the man that you have mentioned, then that is where the dream was born.
Yes, now this dream was born after attending, it was a 10 weeks course.
Okay.
So I discovered my purpose. I discovered that, that thing that I had those years, and that I wanted to just see the best out of people. It just came into me that I too can change lives. You don't have to have so much to change the world. Changing the world is just changing one person after another. And I realized that I have it in me. I can speak and help people. I can use my voice to change lives, even if I don't have anything else, because I used to have a dream of maybe having a children's home and such things. But sometimes we already have what we need to change the world. Everyone has everything they need. What we think is that because we don't have what we want, then we don't have anything. So there's a difference between what you want and what you need. And after now, when I registered my company, Angelica Achievers, I didn't know how to begin, because it felt like a big goal, a big thing for me to go into. Remember, I was this jumpy girl, loving clubbing, and I loved music and dancing and going out and all that. But now I have this thing, and I need to put myself to resonate with what I want to do, what I'm doing. So it took me a whole year, 2018 yote, the whole of the 2018, before I really went completely out. I would go to schools, I would go to our church and talk to the youth, and it still didn't feel like I'm doing enough, but I was still doing it. And at that time, I spent a lot of time learning. And one of the things I learned was that I am my rescue. It's only me who can rescue myself. So I needed to also embrace that and tell people that this, to pass that message to other people, that you too can rescue yourself. Many times we sit down and wait for miracles to happen, but it will not happen without you doing something about it. So I really worked on myself. I worked on my mindset. I worked on even now that fear that I had, that was telling me that you're not good enough, you're not ready, you're not the motivational speaker you think you should be. And I worked on all that, and I thank God that I really embraced faith, and through that I managed to now go into it fully. So I started my own channel. I have a YouTube channel, Angela Zelani. I opened my own website, angelicachievers.com. I've started my own classes. I have three major programs.
Okay, just before that, let's talk about what healing and transformation is all about. They're like categories that people need. Like, is it for mental cases only? Is it wellness? Is it general?
You see, everyone in life, everyone who is living is broken or gets broken at some point. Everyone gets broken at some point, because we all grow up in backgrounds that define who we are. That, the society wants to define us in a way. And many times it's not even who we are. Like I told you about my background, that I grew up in a home where my parents were very strict teachers, and they would beat us and all that. It was good. It helped us. But in a way, it also put me, let me just speak for myself, it made me lose confidence in myself. So the child, when you give birth to a child, they are confident. They say anything they want. They do whatever it is.
The guests are around, they just they walk around and they say things.
Whatever, yeah. But we are told so many no's and no's and no's as we grow up, to the point that it now sings in our minds that everything it's like a no. So we always have the fear of rejection. We always have the fear of not being able to do it. And now that brokenness is what people need to heal from. And you realize that decisions that we make are based, most of the times, are based on all those things that are put in us. So we are sum total of what was put in us by our caregivers, and what now the society has been, putting in us. But there is something even deeper in ourselves that we don't know. If we look at the society, we will just go along with life the way it is, like just pleasing the society and conforming to what the society wants. But there's the upper, I can say, an upper power that brought you here. Now God Himself, He brought us here for a purpose. I go back to my drawing board, to my Sunday school teaching. We were taught that God created you to know Him, to love Him, and to serve Him. So those are the main reasons you're here on earth. Whatever it is you're doing, like the work you're doing, it's serving people. Now, you know God. Okay, you are brought here to know who God is. You know who He is. You love Him. What are you doing to serve Him? And the only way to serve Him is through touching other people's lives. So now for you to be able to look at life that way, to see yourself as even a healer or to be healed, you need to get away from all these things. And many times I come across people who are really hurting. But when we go back to, to the way you grew up, the way you've looked at life in the past, at the end of the day, you realize that whatever it is that you're going through today has been a result of what you went through earlier on. So everything that you're going through, whatever pain you're feeling, has its root. So you need to go back to the root and uproot it. Because if you don't uproot the root, you continue making the same mistakes. And that's why you see people, you get married and it's a messy marriage, and you get into another and it's also a messy marriage. Or you get into a relationship and jump into another thinking that this guy is so nice, or this lady is so nice, it's going to be different. But it's all about you.
Mm-hmm. So the main cause of the issue has not been handled.
Yeah.
So unless then you go to the grassroots.
Yes.
Then the results are going to be the same.
Yeah. Because many times, if you don't heal yourself, you find yourself bleeding on people that never hurt you. Unless these people are also very well, I can say, they've grown themselves mentally and emotionally, then they help you through your healing. But it doesn't happen. Many times it doesn't happen that way. You meet someone who is broken, and you're broken, and you come in together and make a broken marriage. So it has to start from you healing yourself. And even when I'm speaking to churches and I get a chance to speak to a church leader, I always tell them, when you're doing marriage counseling, why don't you go to the drawing board and help this person to first heal their past before they can come in with another. And many times you might realize that they will even agree to disagree, agree to go their own ways, because they've seen that we can never come together.
Yeah.
But you must first heal yourself to just move forward. So healing is all about making peace with your past. Whatever pain you've gone through, it has a reason. You also need to look at what was it for? Why did I have to go through this pain? Nothing happens for nothing. Everything happens for you, even death itself. Yeah.
I was agreeing then. I was like, I had death.
Oh.
And let's look at the society right now.
Yeah.
What is happening around? There are a lot of young people who are in a lot of violence.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen students stabbing each other, stabbing teachers. A student murdered a guard in Western. And then there was the college boy who murdered his family. Mm. So are these now signs of young people that are hurting?
Yes, these are young people who are hurting. And sometimes as parents, now I speak from a point of a parent and a mother to a teen and another younger child. Now I'm observing more because I'm more aware. I'm more self-aware, so I'm aware of my surrounding and those around me. So I see my younger boy who is very aggressive, and the way I speak to him defines the way he's going to act or to behave. So earlier on, when I was really broken, when I was going through my healing, I would shout at them a lot because I wasn't healed.
That is what you call bleeding on others.
Yes, now I was bleeding on others.
Okay.
I was bleeding on my children. I was bleeding on, other people. And many times we take our frustrations to those who are, I can say, vulnerable, or those who have no defense. Mm-hmm. And many times those who have no defense are our family members, because at the end of the day they will accept us the way we are. They will always call us mom, they will call us dad and all that. So we bring our frustrations from out there to our families because they will receive us anyway. And at the end of the day, we are now crushing them. We keep on crushing our children by shouting at them, by telling them, you can't do this. We want them to be better than us, while we were given our chance to choose right. And but we want them to be better than us or to be like us, instead of letting them to be themselves and just guiding them the right way. So it's good. If you look at these children who are doing whatever they are doing, there is something they are ailing from, and it has a root, mostly from the family, or mostly from maybe just their surrounding. Like this lady who shared a story of her son who committed suicide, and she said that she came to discover that the son was sodomized in school. This is a wound that was put in this child. The parent may not. I can't accuse her because she went through it also. But maybe there are behaviors she might have. She even mentioned that she discovered she had seen some behaviors in the child, so many changes. So as a parent, we need to be very observant. We need to, to just be careful and look at what is going on in these children. If you see change doesn't happen for nothing. There's always a reason. So these children are also going through brokenness.
Yeah.
They're bleeding.
No one is too young to experience pain.
Pain, exactly. And many times also we go through brokenness. We go for counseling. We go for, life coaching. But we leave our children out, not knowing that they also went through whatever it is in their own version.
True.
Yeah. So even with my son, when I realized that I had to help him, I had to take him through counseling. I have a friend who is a counselor. We didn't do it in an official way, but I made him open up through a friend who is a counselor, and she just used a very nice way of just helping him to speak up.
Yeah.
And he would speak and say, like, I remember one that really stood out for me was, he said that he sees that I'm struggling so much financially, and he wishes he could do a business to help me.
Wow.
And that is, he was at class 6, 7. That was class about 4, 5. And that was, it really, yes,
Just
it's a
around
good
9,
thing,
10-year-old.
but it made me realize that this child is really worried about me instead of worrying about what he's supposed to be doing, which is school and his character, working on his faith and those things. So I now this one helped me to realize that, and I had seen that he was withdrawing, so it really helped me to also now start helping him. Yeah, so many times we ignore these children and think that they don't have their own feelings, but they feel. Yeah.
So we leave them out a lot, and then that's now what we have to focus more right now. Just include everyone who goes through that pain.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And maybe if you can share with us just one incident or one story that a case that you have handled that changed your life as well, just by helping.
I think,
if you're free to share that.
Yes. I think all the cases I've handled, they've helped me to realize that I'm doing the right thing. I'm here to change lives. I'm really changing lives. Because maybe to mention a few, I remember one lady who was living a life of confusion, dating, this and that and another, and at that time there are all many, and we just went through the 6 week sessions, and after some time she went missing. She wasn't talking to me, and I wasn't talking to her, and much later she came to tell me that you have no idea what you did to me. I relocated from the town I was staying to another one, and right now I'm engaged. I'm getting married soon. Another one was about to commit suicide. I was called by a friend, and this guy was caught somewhere. He was just about to tie a rope and hang himself. And just by talking to him a few times, he tells me that I have helped him change the way he looks at life. And right now, he's very busy, extremely busy in business. He's doing quite well, very well. And it's not just people like my age. I've dealt with a guy who is 60 years old, and we went through now the sessions. He was retired, and he didn't know what to do with his life. So he's managed to now start something. He's gone back to the church, and he's doing quite well. I've also talked to young people. A young girl who was, I can say, out of the way, couldn't see eye to eye with the mother, and now they call me and tell me, we don't know how you did this, but she is a good girl right now.
Okay, those are beautiful stories when lives are transformed. And with the COVID-19 pandemic, there have been, people were at home for such a long time. Then there was, they're stuck at homes where there's violence, and especially for the children. And then now when they go to school, so there's just a lot of distress. There's a lot of disassociation to interaction and different things. So what do you think could be done right now, say in schools, even at different workplaces, given that people have gone through a long period of stress or an anomaly because life changed a lot in the last 10 months or so?
Yeah.
So what can be done right now just to help program people differently because of the very sudden changes that have happened?
People need to realize that even in your own space, you're still complete. You don't need to, to have a crowd to... Yes, we are social beings. And luckily, we still have interactions here and there. But you, even alone, are complete as you are. We need to start choosing ourselves as our friends. Being at peace with even taking yourself out for coffee. I always tell people that, and they say, okay, I will try it. And when they try it, and they say, wow, that was really good.
I should really try that, because I just feel so conscious. Then I'm like, I'll be on my phone and just holding that cup. It's a little awkward. But now that you said it, I think I'm going to give it a try.
You should.
Yeah.
It's really... And then when you go, you're not going to criticize yourself. But tell yourself nice things. Start telling yourself that you're powerful, that you're good, you're a good person, you're beautiful, you're enough. And, you already have everything you need. And when you start now speaking those things to yourself, I have everything I need to, to build on that dream that I have. You will start opening your mind to seeing what is it that I have that I can use to help me now go further, a step further. And slowly by slowly you'll just see yourself doing well. COVID time has been a very hard time for many people. People are broken, they've lost their jobs, and now they're fighting at home and all that. But if you start with myself, ask yourself, what is it that I can do to make it better? Stop looking at the problems of the other person, even if they are wrong, even if whatever they've done, even if you can clearly see that they are wrong. Ask yourself, what can I do myself to make it better, to change this situation, to feel better myself?
Right.
And that way you start beaming light to others.
Okay, and then who then needs healing and transformation? Is it only people who have gone through bad experiences? Say maybe it's rape, it's a broken marriage, it's violence of some sort of way, or what are the small other ways that people don't know that they could still heal from?
I always say that everyone can be a healer, so you can self-heal yourself. You can I'm repeating myself, you can heal yourself. And you can only heal yourself when you are aware that whatever it is that I've gone through, I can still go past that. But it begins by looking at, putting more value into yourself than what you've always thought about. So yes, those who have gone through traumas need healing. But even those who haven't gone traumas, we go through brokenness every day, through the traffic, even when you're entering a matatu, even when whatever, we get broken every day.
There are a lot of stressful moments that we just neglect, we assume.
Yeah, and all those things, they accumulate, and they keep on accumulate, and they keep on Like the other day, I was talking to a friend, and he's been going through a hard time, and he feels that bad things are just happening to him. And he asked me, he just said, "Kwani nani ameniroga?" Jameni, nani ameniroga? That things are happening to me, bad things are happening to me all the time. And I told him that because of something that happened to him before, something that has happened, along the way, this thing made him now look at life differently, and he's still stuck to the pain. He's not healed. So he keeps on attracting other painful things. Many times we attract who we are. If I am a jovial person, I will attract happiness. I will attract good things. If I'm a sad person, I will attract bad things. And even just sit and look at your life. If you feel sad within you, you see that bad things are happening to you. It's called the secret of life. So whatever you've put in your subconscious mind will keep on happening to you until you learn how to heal it. You learn that there's still goodness in life. There's still hope. There's still light. Yeah. And even myself, I can be a source of light. But you cannot be a source of light when you're not healed. So you have to.
So you have to undergo the process of healing.
Yes.
There's no other way to move around it.
There's no other way to move around it. Many times you can even heal yourself if you know how, if you get the tactics. There's a lot of information in the internet. Luckily,